Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Journey of the Master podcast. And we are so happy you are all here. Hello to everyone in our community. Thank you for joining us live, or if you're joining on the replay, we're so happy you are here. Hello, Melinda, Anne Marie, Dawn, Francis, Fiona, Ivy, Christine, Azure. Oh my gosh, just so much love to our amazing community. I am so happy to be here with you all and talk about this month's topic. And there just could not be a better, more perfect time for this topic. Play and create from innocence and joy. And like many of us, we're in the Northern Hemisphere and it just turned the first few days of summer. And it's such an incredible time to focus on playing and creating and from a place of innocence and joy. So that is what we are talking about today. We also have a very special live event in this month of June when we are recording this episode live. It is our Freedom event, a 2-hour live channeled video experience, including Q&A, talking about the freedom to create the life you love. This will be live on June 30th, so join us. You can find out more on the links here provided or at saralandon.com. If you are watching this replay sometime in the future, you can find these special sessions, channeled events on our website. The replays are available to you. So if you are watching this in the future, don't worry, you can still access this incredible channeled event, the freedom to create the life you love. In fact, the council tells us that the essence of everything that we want is freedom. And truly the ultimate desire of our soul is freedom. And no matter who you are or where you are in your life, you absolutely have the freedom to create the life you love. So join us live on Thursday, June 30th. It'll be at 12 p.m. Pacific time. Or if you're catching this later, you can find the replay at saralandon.com under our special sessions or single session channeled experiences. If you're new to this and you're wondering who the council is and you're wondering what channeling is, it's my joy to just make it this opportunity for us to talk about how everyone really is a channel of divine source energy, of light and love in the world. You may not think that you're a channel, but you are. Everyone really is. And maybe you haven't been intentionally tuning into your higher connection to source, but in times when you're in absolute joy, when you are doing something that you love, you are channeling source energy. And so I channel a group of higher level collective ascended master beings called the Council. And you can find out much more about the Council also at our website, saralandon.com. But it is the council has given us the wisdom and the teachings to absolutely create an incredible life and live our grander purpose here on earth, to really live our highest potential. And so what we're talking about today is how we integrate the council's incredible teachings in our everyday life as it relates to playing and creating from innocence and joy. So just wanted to say hello to everybody on the live chat. Hello, hello. Hi, Ellen. I can't wait for the Freedom event as well. So good to see you. South Africa, Sedona. Oh my gosh. Hello, hello. If you have a question, please feel encouraged to ask it live here, and we will answer as many questions as possible, and really about this subject of playing and creating. So if you're like me, at one point in my life, playing and creating wasn't even something I thought about. Having fun was a almost foreign concept. I was working really hard, trying to do all the things I thought I was supposed to do, not really feeling like I was living my purpose. And when the council first started talking about how important it is to play, and how important it is to create from a place of innocence, doing the things that bring you joy. I know myself and many people in our community thought, gosh, I don't even remember what it feels like to play and have fun. I don't even know where I would begin. And so I actually want to begin by talking about this because for so many of us, there has been this subconscious, unconscious program that continually moves us into this state of always being motivated to do more, to be more, to work harder, set more goals, achieve more, and with very little concern for joy in our life. And if you think back to when you were a child, think back to summertime when you were a child. What did you love to do in the summertime when you were a child? When I think about that question, the first thing that comes to mind is our community pool in the neighborhood that I lived in, and that I would ride my bike as a young girl to the pool and swim all day, diving into the water. It was exhilarating to think about maybe getting on the diving board and, oh my gosh, to jump off the high board was just so exhilarating. I think about going camping with my family and being out in nature and going to lakes and going to rivers and going inner tubing when I was a little bit older. I think about just that feeling of the sunshine on your face and playing out in the grass and just having these long, joyful days of hanging out with my friends and creating little things. And then we go about our life and we're supposed to get a job and work hard and effort. And really, underneath all of that is this feeling that we're not enough yet, that there's still something that we have to achieve or do in order to really be enough. And yet, no matter what you accomplish, no matter how hard you work each day, there's still something more to do. And it's this sort of silly game we unconsciously play with ourselves, that joy and fun and creativity comes after all of the hard work is done. And for most people, there's always more and more and more work to do no matter what, because there's this deep unconscious feeling that you're not enough. So first off, whenever you feel this, whenever you feel these moments of, oh my gosh, there's so much more I have to do. I can't play. I can't go have fun. I can't create the things I want to do. Just stop and take some deep breaths and just observe the subtle yet silly sort of ways that we deny ourselves the ability to do the things that bring us joy. And in fact, the council says absolutely nothing outside of you can keep you from experiencing joy and fun and the ability to create the things you want to create except yourself. And so many times, and this goes back to freedom, we believe that we're not free to do the things we want to do and to have fun and play and create. And actually, if you really allow yourself to be conscious and present in the moment, you absolutely can allow yourself to go do the things that bring you joy and play and create. And in fact, and we'll talk about this, that's the most important thing that you can do in every moment. So we'll talk about that today. Hello, everybody. Hello from Taos. I was just talking about Taos the other day. Hi from Arizona. So good to see you all on the chat. If you have questions about this, please feel encouraged to share your questions. So, what brings you joy? What really brings you joy? What things do you really love to do? In what ways do you experience fun? How do you play? What is it that you love to create? The other thing that happens for us is that as we become adults and you start working and get a job or you start a business, most anything that we create is attached to an expectation that has to be productive, that it has to be something we can sell or a piece of work that we're producing. And yet, again, if you think back to being a child, in your absolute innocence, in your purity, in those moments when you're most allowing the source energy that is the truth of you, you are playing and creating just for the joy of it, just from that powerful place of innocence. And so allow this to be top of mind for you. Allow yourself to ask this question: what would be fun today? What do I want to create today? When people come into a situation where they feel like money's not flowing, or creativity is not flowing, or inspiration is not flowing for them, when people feel stuck in any area of their life, could be a relationship, could be in your body, one of the most powerful practices is to start focus on creating, tuning into that creative force and summoning energy to create, no matter what it is. It can be taking some colored pencils and going out in nature and drawing a beautiful scene in nature. It can be, as someone mentioned here, creating jewelry. You could create a bracelet. You could even go to a toy store and get some of the pre-made little kits for all sorts of creative things. They're not just for kids. If you are really trying to create more inspiration, to feel more inspiration in your life and get things moving, then start creating, no matter what it is. It doesn't have to be directly related to a piece of work that's going to make you more money. It's about harnessing that creative energy, opening up to source energy, getting back into the flow. Source energy is playful, it's fun, it's funny, it's creative, it's inspiring, it's uplifting, it's joyful, it's peaceful. Anytime that you are aligning yourself to these states of being, you are harnessing more creative energy to create the life you love. However, so many times we do not realize that we deny ourselves because of our feelings of being unworthy, not worthy yet, haven't done enough yet, haven't worked hard enough yet. You think, oh, that would be fun. I'd love to do that. And then you create this belief that denies you the feeling of being worthy, of playing and creating the way you desire to do. But it is so powerful. Swimming in the lake, yes. Toy Story, yes, that sounds fun. Painting rocks with positive sayings and leaving them along the trail for other hikers. Sonia, I love that idea. There are endless options. We have a wonderful gentleman in our community that makes rock formations in this nearby park to where he lives. And one of his great joys, in addition to just these creative, playful masterpieces that he puts in the world and in his neighborhood and in his community, is watching people enjoy his formations. I love the idea. Let's hear some more ideas. Ellen says swimming and drawing. That's a good one. Hiking is a good one. Dancing is a good one. All of these are perfect. There's no right or wrong. But suggestions like that, going out and finding some rocks and painting uplifting words, or painting beautiful pictures, or leaving little messages. Take your favorite quote, or just be, or all is well, or life is meant to be joyful and good for you, and just place it on a pathway for other people to see. That's amazing. Oh my goodness, I know why I've been drawn to craft kits on Amazon lately. I love that. Ivy, yes, go find some craft kits, paint by numbers, whatever it is. And I just can't. Oh, follow your dreams. That's a perfect thing to put on a rock. Listen to your soul. Listen to the joy in your soul, or you are free to be, or you have the power to do anything, whatever these things are for you. Dancing the night away, I love that. So when we get focused on it, when we start talking about what's playful and fun, when we start talking about things that we can create, all these ideas come, and you can feel yourself in your own body that it is uplifting you. And here's why that's so important. The council says the state of consciousness you're in, the vibration that you're in when you're creating anything, no matter what it is the vibration and the energy that is infused into that thing you are creating. I can think of times when I've had a deadline and I think, oh, I have to get this done. And I sit down at my computer and I'm trying to write something and it's just not flowing. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't sound good. It doesn't look good. And in those moments, you've just got to step back and go do something that brings you joy. Go create something fun. Go get back into that alignment to that powerful source energy that creates worlds, and then let it guide you to the perfect moment when the energy is there and you can write or create or produce whatever it is that you're wanting to do from a much higher vibration, aligned with joy and creativity. And you will experience a much greater manifestation in that thing that you create. I think about this in times when I may be rushing to make dinner and I'm really hurried and I'm not really all excited about it. The food just does not taste that good to me, no matter what I make. Those days that I really am excited to just at the end of my day cook this delicious meal and I have a beautiful piece of music on and I'm just so happy and in the moment, no matter what I make, it just to me tastes so much better because it was created from a place of joy. So more ideas here. The painting rocks with uplifting words like happy, believe, put them in people's gardens. I love that. Leave them as little rocks for your neighbor friends. I was telling a friend of mine on May 1st, did you guys have May Day in your communities growing up? In my community growing up, we celebrated May Day on the 1st of May. And you would make all these little flower bouquets and leave them on the door for your neighbors. And they might have flowers or baked goods. But I just always loved that. I thought it was so fun. And again, you're just doing it for the joy of creating and sharing and expanding the happiness. All of this comes back to our innocence and how powerful our innocence is, because in those times when you were that innocent little girl or little boy creating from just a place of pure joy, you were totally in your power. You were totally in your power, in that innocence, in that purity. So then when we start to believe that we're unworthy and that we have to do things and that you have to work hard and force an effort, we lose that sense of innocence and pure joy in what it is that we're creating. But as adults, if we can really harness that innocence and that vibration of joy, not only in what we're creating, like paintings or rock formations or journaling or writing a book or bringing that energy into your work, it's also how you are creating yourself. And it's how you're expressing yourself. So when you think about someone who's really playful, the council talks about the 11 spiritual roles of the soul. We did a course on the 11 spiritual roles of the soul, and one of them is the uplifter. And these are the people that whenever they show up, whoever they are, they just bring the whole energy of the place to a new level because they're uplifters. They're joyful. They're usually really playful. If I think about the natural uplifters in my life, they're really playful. They always want to play. They always want things to be fun. They're focused on making things fun. You can consciously, intentionally embody that, as well as consciously, intentionally being a teacher or being a doctor or being an administrator. You can still play your human roles and also embody these spiritual roles of being an uplifter, or another one of my favorites, being a connector. Finding ways to connect people actually is a form of creativity. Finding ways to connect people with ideas or people with other people. It's that friend of yours that's always fixing people up. Oh, you know who you need to meet? Oh, you need to connect with this person. Let me reach out to them, right? So being a connector is another one of those spiritual roles. So I'm curious about the benefits of joyful play solo as with co-creative pals. I enjoy a balance of both. I would love to hear thoughts on amplifying joy as an individual and with others. Awesome question. Absolutely. I think that's so important. I've been in many different team dynamics throughout my life. And when it's joyful and you're co-creating in a joyful, fun way, you really do get so much more done when you come into that energy first. Council would say from a state of being, and that state of being is aligning with joy, joy being the vibration most closely aligned to the truth of who you are. When you really are in that state of joy, in that state of being, in the doing, there's always more to be done. From a state of being, all things are done through you. And that really is true. You don't have to push and force an effort. Get into joy and play and create and have fun. And you'll see that so much more gets done. You're actually far more productive. So I love that. Gabby says, I love creating great meals and sharing with friends. Absolutely. Even baking. I know in the family I grew up in, there was a lot of bakers, and they would bake all sorts of different things and share them with neighbors or community gatherings. So much fun. So many ideas here. Write these things down of something that speaks to you and come back to it. Maybe take one thing a day for the next week or 3 days or 5 days and go, I'm going to create something every day. Okay, today I'm going to paint some rocks. Okay, today I'm going to write a poem. Okay, today I'm going to bake something and share it with my neighbors, whatever it is for you. When we really start to understand the power of playing and creating in itself is what's harnessing inspiration, inspired ideas, and inspired action. And when you're doing that through innocence, purity, wholeness, oneness, aligned to your worthiness and aligned to a state of joy, you're so totally in your power. You're fully allowing all of the source energy that is here for you. And you will see the most amazing miracles, manifestations, and creations show up in your life. Rollerblading, listening to favorite 90s music brings me into my inner 9-year-old. Emily says, I love that. Music is so great. Rollerblading, fun things like that. What did you love to do as a kid? What did you maybe dream about doing or creating? Let yourself get back into that energy. And if you're one that says, I can't remember or I don't really recall anything, you have a whole world here of opportunities of all sorts of ways people have created to have fun. And let yourself explore those things. Let yourself play again. There's so much power in that. We're talking about spiritual practices here. We're talking about consciousness. We're talking about higher levels of wisdom to live your grander purpose in life. And yet all of those messages always come back to play, joy, creativity, fun, passion, uplifting, things that are inspiring to you and meaningful to you. And when we do that, we begin to raise our vibration, which raises our consciousness, which begins to summon more and more energy. The council says the formula for creation, consciousness moves energy into form. So powerful. Gabby says, I often ask myself, what would bring me joy today? And then I do that. Often it has to do with sharing with others or making a difference to others. Perfect. Awesome. We talk a lot about communicating in a conscious way, speaking your truth from your heart. And I find that everyone in our community has this deep desire to contribute, to share, to uplift others. And when you know that you are worthy, you already are. You already are whole and complete and magnificent, and that there's nothing that it could ever happen in this human experience that can threaten your magnificence, that you were already worthy the moment you were born, and that there was nothing you needed to do to earn your infinite worth. It's your inherent divine birthright to be on this planet and to do the things that bring you joy and to do the things that you love. And the more you allow yourself to do that, the more you will find incredible manifestations, things that come out of the blue, divine synchronicities, inspired ideas. It's a very magical yet powerful place to live. Walking through the trees with the wind blowing, paying attention to every little thing. I love that. I love to do yoga in my own creative way, moving your body, martial arts, Tai Chi, all of those things. Judith, thank you. She said, listening to the council brings me joy and love. I feel that too. Ceramics class, that's a good one. I saw recently about a group of adults that were all going to this painting class, and they were all in there. I could hear them. I walked by, they were laughing and carrying on, and they were all in this painting class. And you would have thought that it was a playground of children in there with all the fun and the laughter happening. Yes, Judith, we are worthy the moment we are born. And so we have been talking a lot about worthiness in our community. If you haven't accessed our free resources, if you go to our website, saralandon.com, you will find an entire section devoted to free resources, which includes insights from 2 new channeled messages each month. And Sarah Elizabeth in our community puts those together. They're just absolutely beautiful. They are with in the experience a vibrational activation just in the energy of these beautiful blogs that she creates with the council's wisdom from that month, from our 2 live calls that we have in our master's class community. And if you look at the most recent one we just posted, it's about writing your own life story. What could be more creative and fun than that? Writing your own life story. What is the grandest vision you have for your life? What experiences do you want to have? And knowing that you're worthy of those experiences. In fact, I truly believe those inspirations come as the inspirations from your soul that wants to experience even greater freedom, even greater self-expression. And so self-love is a really important thing. But for me, one of the major shifts that I had is when the council began to really help us understand how important our own self-worth is, or our own worthiness, and how sneaky and subtle at times our thoughts are, doubting and denying that worthiness instead of really allowing ourselves to be worthy. And again, if you've been part of our community for a while, when someone asks, what does allowing even mean? We have someone in our community that said, I don't really resonate with that word. I use the word welcoming, which is perfect, or receiving, or even an energy of celebration. Allowing can be an energy of celebration. But the council says the instant manifestation of allowing is joy. So if you're doing what brings you joy, if you're really in the moment, in your power, present, and doing what brings you joy, and allowing yourself to be so totally satiated in the moment, you are as powerful as you could ever be. And looking here if there's any other questions. So good to see you all. Great ideas. Playing with animals, fun exercises. Judith is taking an automatic writing class. I bet you might be taking that with my dear friends, Mike Dooley and Michael Sandler. Automatic writing, love that. To me, it's such a playful, creative process to open up to source energy. As I said at the beginning, every single one of us are a channel of higher consciousness, divine love, divine light. We all have this innate access to higher realms, your higher self, your soul, your guides, your angels, your team. And examples of this are an athlete when they're just in the zone and they make an incredible play, or they hit a home run, or they make an incredible ski slopes, their incredible run down the ski slopes, or whatever it is, right? When they're just in the zone and they're just totally tuned in the flow, what they're really doing is allowing themselves through their vibration and higher level of consciousness to summon a greater level of source energy. Musician, same thing, harpist or a pianist or any sort of musical instrument. When you get to this place where you can just play and be so in sync, that is fully harnessing source energy. That is channeling in a way. Songwriting, when I was a kid, I used to write little songs all the time, and it was one of my favorite things to do. In fact, I have a little book of those songs. So there's all kinds of things that you can do. Write some songs, write a little poem, make some space for this in your life. And what you'll realize is you actually get far more done in a far more joyful way when you make some time for playing in your life. Let's see. Yes, it looks like someone else had May Day when they were growing up. It doesn't have to be May 1st for you to do May Day, you guys. You can just create some little gifts and things and share them with your neighbors. My neighbor was recently going to be getting married and having a wedding at their house, and they brought us these little gift baskets just to let us know and say thank you for being open to that in our area, and letting us know in advance. And it was just so thoughtful. It made me want to do the same thing for others. So yes, Judith says it is the 21-day automatic writing adventure with Mike Dooley and Michael Sandler. Amazing. If you have not seen our recent interview on Inspire Nation, which is Michael Sandler's incredible show on YouTube, check it out. Inspire Nation. He's amazing. And Mike Dooley as well. Many of you know Mike Dooley and I did an incredible channeled event last year, and then a course called The Art of Channeling. And we're right in the final stages of submitting a book together to Hay House actually next week. So lots of fun co-creations there. Ivy says we didn't do gifts on May Day, but we always danced around the flagpole, dancing with ribbons on May Day. Oh, I love that. That's a good idea as well. So if there's any other questions about this, let us know. Again, our freedom event, which will be on June 30th, is about tuning into that energy, that power you have, the freedom you have to create the life you love. And I really see this coming up a lot lately, this conversation about freedom and how in each day we really can begin to tune in to how free we really are to do the things we desire to do each day. That's what's creating your life, what you do every day, your habits, your thoughts, your affirmations, the things that you believe about yourself are what are creating your life. So if we come back to this space of writing your own life story any way that you wish it to be, if you began to let yourself explore that, or even just be curious about that. For most all of us, some of the main things would be very similar. More abundance in our life, more well-being in our life, more joy, probably would include more fun and play, more contribution maybe. more co-creation or collaboration. I know one of the things that's really important to our community is that collaboration and co-creation and coming together in ways where people play and create and have fun and community. If you're not feeling like you have a lot of community in your life, first off, just know that there are some times on our journey here where it's a little more solitary. And then we have times where we really feel this desire for more community. And if you're feeling that desire, that community is already in motion to you. It's really about opening your heart, being your true, authentic self, and starting to connect with people every day in the most simple ways. Again, if you're in this playful, joyful energy and you walk into a coffee shop or you walk into the grocery store or even just walking down the street and you look people in the eye and you say, "Hi, how's your day?" You are connecting. And maybe that "hi, how's your day" turns into a little short conversation. And so when you start to really let yourself shine, really come into that place of joy, let yourself connect with other people and shine brightly and be who you are. And you'll find that very quickly and easily you start to attract more community in your life if that's something that's important to you. Is there a difference between automatic writing and channeling? Um, Automatic writing was something I did about 15 years ago. I did not know it was automatic writing. I would just have this energy come through me and I would just have to write. And oftentimes it happened in the middle of the night. And I just kind of thought it was journaling, but I would read it the next day and it was the most incredible wisdom. I was beginning to channel the council at that point in my life, but I didn't know it was automatic writing and I didn't know it was channeling. So it's not necessary to label these things. However, I love that we're bringing these things into the mainstream and that we're talking about things like automatic writing, that we're talking about things like channeling. I was at an event last night where this incredible gentleman shared how he manages a big, beautiful ranch in my area, and that he has this connection with the bears and the different wildlife. And he said, I do this toning and the bears will come right up to me and the animals will come right up to me. And he said, I've just developed this relationship, but I feel like these tones help them to feel safe around me. And he shared these tones with us. And it was what I would consider light language, which we talk about in our community. But again, he didn't have any particular label for it. It just came innately and spontaneously to him, and he was having a beautiful experience with it. So the same is true with automatic writing. Just letting it come to you and having a beautiful experience with it, just like channeling. If there's so many different ways to express it. So automatic writing to me is a form of tuning into a higher level of consciousness through a process or just spontaneously, and allowing higher levels of consciousness to stream through you onto a piece of paper as you write down what you are receiving. Channeling has many different modalities, many different ways that people channel. If you're familiar with my work with the council, I'm what I guess I would refer to as a verbal channel, where I close my eyes and take some deep breaths, feel for the energy, and then this consciousness begins to stream through where I verbally channel the council's wisdom. Some people do that through automatic writing. Some people channel through their body. They channel energy for healing modalities or different forms of body work, for example, like Reiki. That can be a form of channeling. As I said, I think athletes are channeling, musicians are channeling, people who write songs are channeling, poets are channeling. It's that experience when you're having lunch with a friend and you're in the midst of this deep conversation and you say something or they say something and it's like, oh my gosh, what did you just say? Say that again. And your friend goes, I don't even know what I just said. I just came through. To me, that's an experience of channeling. Everybody does it, whether you're aware of it or not. You've done it your whole life, whether you're aware of it or not. I love that we're bringing so much awareness to everyone's ability to connect into source energy and their own channel to higher wisdom. For me, I have just practiced verbal channeling to such a place that it's very natural for me. Some people have the desire to do that. Some people don't have the desire to do that. Some people don't have the desire to do that, but they end up doing it or tuning into it, and it's all perfect. So, yes, the art of channeling is beautiful when you open up to everything. So, channeling versus like mediumship or psychic abilities or animal communication. There are incredible animal communicators in our community. I don't experience the same thing they do with their profound connections to channel messages from animals. We have other people in our community that are amazing, what I would call mediums, where they are very tuned in to the other side and that they can communicate with people who have transitioned and that they can hold this beautiful space for people to communicate with their loved ones on the other side. That to me is mediumship. I think everyone has natural intuition and sort of that psychic ability. And it's really because we are essentially consciousness. So you might think the thought that you're thinking is in your brain, but it's actually in this field of consciousness. So the more we tune into higher consciousness, we begin to access everything that exists. In fact, we get to this place where everything is sort of known. You don't even have to speak out loud, and you know how someone's feeling, you know the state they're in. And so you can start tuning into greater intuition as well. Ultimately, I think it comes down to trusting it and knowing that you're worthy of having these connections to higher wisdom. We came from higher wisdom. We came from a higher level of consciousness. It's who and what we are. There's nothing for you to do to be worthy of that. You came from higher consciousness. That is what you are. There's nothing you need to do to be worthy of that. You have always had the ability to tune in to higher levels of consciousness. And those higher levels of consciousness have always been with you and always will be. For most people, it's believing they're worthy of that, being worthy of being loved and guided and cared for and supported that much, and then really learning to trust it. In fact, a big conversation in our master's class community this week was about trust, and that when you feel like you can't really trust that the universe is going to show up for you, or you can't really trust God, it's really about trusting yourself. So to me, the greatest opportunity in channeling is really coming into a relationship with that higher wisdom or higher guidance and really trusting, first off, that you're not making it up. Trust that it will always be there for you. And trust the signs and the synchronicities and the magic and the miracles that are showing up for you as you open up to higher levels of consciousness. Let's see, how to keep playing with others when they are so serious. Just love them. Just love them. Be you and just love them. If they have a belief that they still have to work hard, that's okay. And, it may not mean that you try to drag them away from their work, but you go do what brings you joy. I mean, I'm just having this image, right, of going for a walk. Let's just say you had a stressful day and you decide to go for a walk out in nature. And you walk by this park and there's all these children on the swings and on the merry-go-round and on the slides, and they're laughing and running around and playing. To me, it just instantly uplifts me. Maybe you don't decide to go slide down the slide with them, or maybe you do. I have to tell you, one of my great joys is if I go for a walk down about a mile from my house, there is a park that has swings. And one of my great joys is to go swing on the swings. It's just one of the things that, again, that brings me back into that playful innocence. So if you are walking by a park with children, or you're walking by a park that's there, go swing on the swings, go slide down the slide, have some fun. But how to keep playing when they're really serious. just be in your joy. Joy is actually the natural state of who they are too. Just be you, be in your joy. Don't try to change them. Don't judge where they are. Don't try to drag them out of where they are. You just be you. You be you. Stay in your joy. Stay in your playful state. Let them be where they are. And you'll find if you're not trying to change them, oftentimes they very quickly meet you in that more playful, joyful state. Oh, thank you. It's very encouraging to all of us. This is joy. It's my joy too. And this is the form of how I play and create, really, truly. When you do what you love, when you really do what you love, you're always in that state of playfulness and creativity and joy. So do what you love. Hi, Greg. So good to hear from you. Jessica says, I love the wiggly slide. I love slides. I had a really dear friend who posted these pictures that her children all went to the bouncy house. They all went to the bouncy house, and all the moms ended up in the bouncy house with all the little balls, jumping into all the little balls at the bouncy house. And the kids were like outside playing and doing something else. And so, anyway, that's another idea as well. So, all right. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome alignment meditation and swinging earlier today. Yes. Awesome. So this has just been amazing, everybody. I hope it's an incredible reminder to you of the playful, joyful spirit that is the truth of who you are. Take some time to focus on the things that you love to do that are playful and fun for you this month. Play and create from that place of absolute innocence and joy. I love you all. Thank you for being here. Please consider joining us for our free, our free resources. I wanted to make sure to share again at saralandon.com, as well as our Freedom to Create the Life You Love channeled event on June 30th. And you can find the link to register for that. It's $14.97 at our website as well, saralandon.com. My love to you all. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Have an amazing rest of your day, week, weekend, month. And remember, truly, one of the most foundational things that the Council continues to remind us, you are everything you wish to be. You already are. It is all within you, and it always will be. So go play, create, and have fun. Bye, everybody.